Hello, Chuck here again.
We'll be doing a new build, a mini quad, using a couple all-in-one components. And I'd like to go over the flight controller and transmitter combo. This house also has a OSD built into it. This is the HGLTech F3 V4PRO. It's a F3 flight controller built in with a video transmitter, OSD, and power distribution board. So let me just run through the layout of this board really quickly. So on the side here, on this plug, actually we're looking at the bottom right now. We have our USB, we have our PPM and PWM inputs right here. We have little pads for GPS that I will not be using. This is actually, I think this is labeled UART. This is labeled UART2 right here. And this plug right here is the FTDI adapter for the OSD. So we'll see if the OSD pass-through works with Betaflight on this one, but to get access to the OSD, we'll have to use this separate connector right here. On this end, we have the XT60 inputs, and we also have our soldering pads for our speed controls. Let's see, that's it for this side. We have a switch here. This turns the video transmitter on or off. Let's see. These little holes right here are labeled on the other side. They're actually for the camera in. And let's flip over to the other side really quick. I think that's all the connectors on this side. So this is the top side here. Arrows facing this way. So here's our camera connector again. We also have pads for the speed control outputs. So we have 8 of these around the edges. So here's 4, here's 2, here's 1, and there's 3. Next to number 3 we have the RSSI. We have our buzzer inputs here. Here's 7 and 8. And on this side here we have our LED connections. Let's see what else is of interest over here. Down on the end here, interestingly enough, this is where you have your S-bus and what else is it? Your Spectrum satellite connections here. If you use those type of receivers, you'll get a 5 volt and a 3 volt. But interesting, you only get an RX input. There's no TX. So for this particular UART, I can't see the corresponding TX pin for UART number, and this is very small, UART number 3. So very small pads on this board. Be doing some very fine soldering, but should be a pretty good board, I'm hoping. So with this board, you also get some plugs. This is where I'll be connecting my PPM input from my FrSky D4R radio. And then also in this bag of goodies, you do get a little pigtail that will connect onto your board. And the pigtail connector is right here on the top side of the board. They give you a buzzer. Here's your buzzer, which goes, we'll have to find the right side to put it on, right here. Not sure which side I'll put it on, but the buzzer goes there. Here's your pigtail. This is the plug for the FTDI adapter to get to the OSD. And your XT60 plug, which I don't know whether I'll connect directly to the board or put a little lead on it so that it has some flexibility to it. But that is the HGLTech F3 V4PRO all-in-one flight controller, OSD, and video transmitter module. One thing I forgot to note was that there is a nice little reset button that they include here, or boot button. And on the side here we have a momentary switch that is used to change the channels and the frequencies for the video transmitter. So that's going to be the heart of my new build. Next up, we have the RacerStar 4-in-1 speed control. And just quickly, I'll pull it out and take a look at it. Shouldn't be anything too crazy, but they do give you a pack of standoffs. We have an interconnecting wire here. Not sure what that's for yet. We got our documentation. So it's BL-HELI-S. And to take a quick look at the speed control, it's a 20 amp 4-in-1. We have our PWM inputs here. I believe that little connector that I had is probably just the same thing. It's just a short connector. I don't think I can use that, but I'll figure that out. But in any case, we have all of our ESC wires pre-soldered on. Then we have the power right here. The wires look a little bit skinny, but I guess they should be able to handle 20 amps with no problem. So that'll be the heart of my new build that I'll be working on. And it will be a QAV210 clone. And I'll show you that frame in just a minute here. Okay, well, we have my new 210 millimeter frame here. It's a clone of the QAV210. Let's check out the thickness of the carbon here. So we're looking at about 3 millimeter carbon for a bottom plate. Quite a bit thinner than my last build, which was a 4 millimeter. They give you the top plate and the top plate and the side plates for the camera, and a set of standoffs for the frame and the landing gear, and a set of board standoffs for the flight controller. So here's the frame and the all-in-one components laid out. Let's take a look first at the ESC that we have. The layout is going to be pretty interesting. We have the power wires for the ESC coming out the side here, and I'm looking at the motor layout. We have motor 1 here, motor 2, motor 3, and motor 4. So this layout is not exactly what the Betaflight and Clean Flight motor layout is. So what I'll have to do is probably do some testing, but I'll probably just end up changing the wiring order of this plug here so that I wire it so that this ends up being motor 3 and this is motor 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, it should be the layout. Right now these are switched, so I'll probably just have to switch how I wire this up. To give you plenty of wire, I may just end up desoldering these wires and soldering directly to the board. I don't know if my motor wires are long enough. But let's take a look at that real quickly. I have a motor here. So I'll be using these RacerStar BR2205, really cheap motors. Just wanted to get something that worked. So the length of the wires look like they might just make it. It might just not make it. They're very, very close as far as the length of the wires, so it's going to be interesting. I'd like them to reach. That would be really nice, but I think I may just be a little bit short. But we'll check that out when I do the build. So that's the speed control. The flight controller board. We have the arrow pointing forward here. So this is the top of the board. We'll just be sitting here, and around the edges we have our ESC connectors. So I'll have to run these connectors somehow to each of these 4 locations. So it would be a little bit of a bird's nest of wiring here. And I also have the power wires here, which are on the opposite side of the XD60 connector. So I'll have to take a look at this. What I might end up doing is switching the speed control around so that I can have a closer shot, more direct shot at wiring to these pads. I don't think I'm going to like having these wires sticking straight out the side. I may have to do some creative wiring to change the direction of these power leads, but somehow I will get these power leads connected to the pads here on the PDB and get it going like that. So that is basically my build. I'll be using a FrSky D4R receiver on this, and it should be a pretty clean build except for these wires sticking out the side, which I don't like. So we'll play with that and see how clean we can get it. But as far as the number of boards, there'll be 3 boards. There'll be a receiver board for the radio. There'll be this all-in-one flight controller, and then we'll have the all-in-one ESC. And up front, I'll be using an HS1177 camera for the video. So that's it for now. I'll have more later. Thanks a lot for watching, and have a great day.